Welcome to Coronavirus Pandemic 1 year later. My name is Clarke Heipel. Well, the date of March 11th, 2020 will go down in the history books of tomorrow. That is when the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic for the coronavirus. Human history will forever be changed. Lives of humans from every corner of the globe have been affected by this virus. And of course, this is the case here in North Bay, Callander, and surrounding area. Over the next 5 minutes or so, we will look back at 365 days of this pandemic in our region. Cogeco News was there for every development. The first major COVID news at one of our sister stations came on February 18th, 2020 in Cornwall.
Cornwall was shocked on the weekend by the news that a number of Canadian citizens returning from the quarantined Diamond Princess cruise ship would be housed at the NAV Centre.
A new disease that people have no immunity to, there's no vaccine for.
Coronavirus concerns among locals heightened following the first case of COVID-19 in Sudbury, that being the first case in Northern Ontario. With that fear came panic shopping. Shelves were bare. By mid-March, a modest COVID assessment center was set up at the North Bay Regional Health Centre.
It is anticipated that COVID-19 will end up circulating in the community.
On that same day, news in the afternoon broke that shutdown orders were being put in place from the provincial level. The COVID pandemic hit home for many people on this day last year. The mandatory closure of bars and restaurants. And at this time, the border between Canada and the United States was closed. It has not since reopened. The Ontario Hockey League announced that the remainder of the regular season in 2020 canceled.
The announcement really does not come as any surprise.
With this news coming in fast and furious, gas prices dropping big time. Mid-afternoon on March 20th, an emergency meeting of North Bay City Council. They have not yet met in person since that date. As students move out, gas prices continue to drop. The busy month of March not yet concluded when this news breaks. The local health unit has confirmed that a resident in the North Bay Parry Sound district has tested positive for COVID-19. With the reality of the pandemic setting into area citizens, events like this begin to occur. The call for PPE is loud, and area businesses step up to produce.
The good news is that we can manufacture anything in Ontario.
The month of April begins with more cancellations for events that are months away. And yes, gas prices still dropping. Junior hockey training camps in Powassan not happening, and they have not yet hit the ice even in 2021. A month into the pandemic, we start to see salutes for frontline workers. Truckers thanked for their long hauls as well. Easter long weekend is approaching and gatherings are discouraged, and the production of PPE continues full steam ahead. Our first account from a COVID survivor came from our Your TV Halton Bureau.
Fatigue, the headache, and then I lost my smell.
Area fire departments celebrated birthdays as trucks were driven to the homes of kids celebrating the big day. In late April, empties are returned to the beer store, and a victory against the first wave is declared.
You see our numbers, we've smashed it.
Ontario's restrictions to fight the virus lifted gradually in middle of May. With the gradual reopening comes a setback as the East Home Care Facility in Powassan is under a COVID outbreak. With air travel discouraged all across the world, the Jack Garland Airport in North Bay facing financial pressures.
Currently, we're allowed to have groups of 5 together, and we need 5 crew members to run the ship.
Enforced cleaning and disinfection measures continue throughout the building.
The patio prohibition across Ontario is being lifted on Friday thanks to Phase 2.
It was more of a partial opening at Northgate Shopping Centre on Friday morning.
Social circles were introduced, but that theory didn't last.
There is still lots of unknowns as far as moving forward with COVID and what's going to happen, where's the economy going to be.
Summer for students was welcomed by virtual proms and drive-through graduations.
Everybody looks forward to, prom day.
It's amazing. I love what the teachers are doing here today for us.
With the financial pressure at the airport, Air Canada departs for the final time.
That revenue stream isn't there.
Early in the month, a COVID outbreak declared at Water's Edge in West Ferris. Good news in July came as gyms and restaurants in the city opened along with City Hall. A key date locally, July 24th, 2020, that is when the mask mandate was implemented by the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit.
And I encourage everyone to wear their masks when you're going into a public place.
We need to weigh the risks of COVID-19 against the harm of school closures.
That there's not going to be any co-curriculars, whether it be arts or athletics.
We have staggered start to begin the year.
The latest trends in numbers have raised some concern.
Our kids are good. They're a little bit nervous, and understandably so.
Renfrew County and District Health Unit has made the decision to close Fellows High School.
In October, COVID fatigue sets in
and caregivers demanding better access to the hospital.
Begged me to come, and I had to tell him no.
He recommends not to go trick-or-treating this year.
Can't have thousands of people getting together right now.
The Athletics Center will be closed effective today to complete extensive deep cleaning.
People still aren't following the rules.
The total number of positive cases is now at 14.
Saturday at the food bank, Mr. and Mrs. Claus there.
It is tough on business for sure.
I am supportive of a province-wide shutdown.
It's much of a surprise with the provincial lockdown.
They're selling everything, but my store's closed.
We will have about 300,000 doses of vaccine to administer to the people of Ontario.
We have to do what we have to do to survive.
All Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Club trails will be closed.
We're fingers, toes, and eyes crossed.
The health department knew that there was a COVID in here.
Of course, Doug Arthur won't be here to see or hear his daughter's tribute on this day.
To date, the Lancelot outbreak has seen 45 total cases, 21 confirmed South African variant cases, and 10 more preliminary positive VOC tests. There have been 3 fatalities linked to this outbreak. The shutdown and stay-at-home order will be extended.
People start really asking questions about what is going on here.
Burden of variant of concern or VOC cases are significantly greater in our health unit district.
In North Bay, we'll be re-entering the framework.
In the last 2 months, I was just at home.
We brought everyone back, including our seasonal staff.
The variants of concern certainly spread 50 to 70% more easily, more readily.
I'd like to thank you for joining me for this look back at the past 365 days of this coronavirus pandemic. I look forward to the day where we can share a smile together, gather, shake hands, perhaps share a hug. But until that date, I urge you to stay safe by wearing a mask, remaining socially distant, and practice proper hygiene. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clarke Heipel.